Hey guys, this is Al. Wanted to give you a quick update since I haven't made a video in a few weeks. It's been a little bit crazy at work, and I haven't really haven't had that much time spent at the shop. Also, I don't know whether I mean, we've been having some colossal rain, so I've been getting like flooding in the building where just water just keeps running through the building. It's been dry today, so it's not as bad, but there's usually a stream that runs from one side of the building to the other. Anyway, enough of that. So right here you've got my 2005 S55 AMG. It's on the rack right now because I blew out an ABC hose, the rear hose that runs from the passenger side shock absorber above the subframe and into the valve block on the other side. I was driving down 35 going to pick up the dashboard for the Corniche from the upholsterer, and I basically undertook a car that was just basically riding in the left lane and just not wanting to move, and I heard a pop, and the hose blew. I could look in my rearview mirror, I could see kind of a mist building up behind me, and I knew that the hose blew, and my ABC light went off. In any case, we got the hose off. We took it out to get rebuilt. They rebuilt the hose at a local hose repair place. It cost like around $130, and now I'm basically needing to take care of some other stuff. One thing I did notice, which I think may have attributed to the problems, was that the ABC shock looked like it was covered in oil. So today what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this new replacement, rebuilt, I think it's a new R-Knot ABC shock that I'm going to replace with the existing one, because I figured that the reason that the problem happened is that the pressure as you leaned on the car caused a spike in the pressure that blew the suspension hose. So I'm taking care of that right now. It doesn't look like it's too hard of a job. The first thing that we have to do is, if you look here, you see this. There's three bolts there that need to be undone from the top. There's a blanking plate there. Once you undo those bolts, then you should be able to put the car up in the air, take the wheel off, and pull the ABC shock off. Once the brake calipers are out. I've also got new rear calipers while I'm at it, and new brake pads as well. So while I'm in there, I'm going to be doing the rear calipers as well as the brake pads. And I picked up another ABC filter and some, you can see over there, about 20 litres of CHF11, which is the ABC fluid. I actually had I've just finished my last jug of CHF11. It's pretty sad, but I went through 20 litres just on this car pretty much. And I've had the ABC hose blow on me, or an ABC hose blow on me 1, 2, 3. This is the fourth time in 3 years that I've had this car. I thought very long and hard about switching to the coilovers this time around. I'm not really a believer of it, but it's becoming a little bit of an exhausting thing to deal with on a regular basis if you've had to do it more than once. So I was thinking about it, but then I thought to myself, you know what, if it was an airmatic car, I would have done it, because it's not really that much of an invasive conversion. But with an ABC car, you're going to have to change the power steering pump to an airmatic power steering pump. You're going to have to find sway bars and install them, do a bunch of stuff to make it right. So it wasn't worth it. The ABC shock was like $400, $500. I think it was like $550 plus a $320 core charge that I'll give back when I return the old one, and that should take care of it, right? So that's what I'm going to be working on right now. I'm just going to finish undoing those 3 bolts, unclipping the electrical connector, and then I'll put the car up in the air, take the wheel off, and give you a quick update. Thank you. All right, hey guys. So I undid those 3 top bolts. You can see the shock's in pretty bad shape. The boot's torn, and there's like oil all over the bottom of the shock. So you do those 3 top bolts. You have to remove that electrical connection. You got to remove the caliper, which I have to remove anyway, so that I can do the brake disc. The brake discs are in pretty gruesome shape anyway. And then you just undo that bolt over there, and that should get the shock out of the way. So once you take the caliper off, then you can move the lower control arm out of the way. And hey guys, as you can see, the strut's now out. In short, basically I had to undo that bolt over there, which is basically the bolt that holds the strut in place, and then there's another bolt over here that holds the lower brake, the lower hub. So those both had to go out of the way, and then I had to undo this leveling valve, leveling sensor, or whatever it's called. Basically undo it from the underneath. It's bolted onto the bottom of the strut. I'm sorry about the mess and the terrible visualization. I'm using my cell phone right now. When you hit record, it zooms in when you use the video. There's a quick disconnect on the strut itself that you have to undo, and there's a rubber boot that goes on the top that's mounted on the strut. And of course, before you even touch that, you want to undo this bleed valve and let the system bleed out, because if you don't bleed the system out, you're likely to get yourself in trouble. So bleed the system out, let the crap run into the bucket. There's really not that much that leaves, and then go ahead and pull the strut out. Had to muscle it a little bit to get it out, but it came out. There's the strut in itself. You can see the boot's all torn. That's the quick disconnect fitting, and there's a rubber boot there on top that I have to, you can see that over there. Can you see that boot? So I'm going to have to, not sure if the new strut has that, but if it doesn't, I'll swap it over. And they provide new screws on the new strut, so new bolts, sorry, on the top. So you can see it doesn't have a rubber boot, so I'm going to try to move that over, but it does have the quick disconnect. It has new screws, and obviously the sensor's covered, which is a nice touch. I like that. So the job's pretty much almost done. The strut's in, the brake disc is on. Had a couple of little bit of a struggle putting the strut in. It's just not easy to do with just one person. Trying to basically muscle that thing up there and align it against the 3 bolts, and then as you basically try to tighten the lower control arm down, I had to loosen it at that top bolt over there, the one closest to the differential, so that I could lower it, get it out of the way. But then when I went to align put everything together and hold it all up in place, just the weight of the strut kept on slipping out, and then it just was a real bear to slide back in and align those 3 bolts against where they needed to be. Eventually I was able to hold everything in place long enough for me to get to the top and screw a couple of bolts in, but that was a real challenge. The other challenge that I had, well, I don't know whether it's a challenge right now, but I suspect that it's going to give me trouble in the future. There you go. So there's a quick disconnect, a hose that connects to the strut. It's like an airline disconnect, and you can see right there that the hose is fraying. Now it seems to be holding right now, but I know that I'm going to have to replace this hose pretty soon. So that kind of sucks. What else? The brake disc. I had to pound this with a mallet like I was beaten it half to death. It was all rusted on pretty tight. So when I eventually got it off, and I really had to hit it hard to get it off, for probably about 20 minutes. I'm not kidding. But when I got it off, I scrubbed it with a wire brush, used some brake clean and anti-seize on the back of it. So hopefully that's not going to be a problem in the future. I may bleed the brakes while the car's on the lift. I do need to tighten up some of these bolts. I think one of these is like a reverse star bit, and or a male star bit, and I don't really have the right fitting for it. So I was able to loosen it without any problems, but obviously you can't tighten it without the right bit. So I'm going to have to go to the store and get the right bit for that. So that needs to be done. The height control level valve sensor needs to be bolted back on, and then I need to get on the other side and do the other brake caliper. But all in all, not that hard of a job, I think. Now that I've done it already once, one thing to remember is take the wheel arch liner off. It makes life a lot easier. I kind of figured that out towards the end, so I should have taken it off right at the beginning. But it's not impossible. I'm just really worried about that hose letting go once I drop the car and kind of drive it. So I'm going to have to plan for a solution on that thing pretty soon. Alright, so this is the other side. That's the old brake disc. And you can see that there was a pretty substantial lip on it. See that? So was a bear to get off again. You can see the hammer marks, where I just beat the 7 bells of crap out of it. Trying to get it out, but it's off. Put some anti-seize on the hub so that the other one, isn't going to lock up like this one did. And that's a new disc over here. So I'm just going to go and put that on right now. So disc is on. Just need to wipe it quickly down with brake clean. Already did the inside part before I put the thing on, but I figured I'd wipe this one down while it's on. This little set screw goes in. So I'll just tighten that up, put the brake caliper on, and where's the little... There you go. Okay. Doesn't need to be on super tight, but just tight enough. Alright, so finally we just got the caliper on, not too hard. It's just basically an 18mm, 2 bolts on this side, nothing, no sensors, nothing else to deal with, so it's pretty straightforward. And I think that's it. Just going to put the wheel on, set it back down on the ground, top up the ABC fluid, because we lost a little bit when we changed the right side strut, and see how it goes. Alright, so that's me done for the day. Thanks very much for watching, and if you've done any wrenching, don't forget to turn your ratchets off before you put them away. Alright, thanks very much. Take care.